We're both county employees.
What was that? Sorry.
We are both county employees.
Yes, yes. You know, and it's hard. All of that political piece of it is tough. And so
Yeah.
working for the government and public sector is very different. I used to run a couple companies with my ex-husband in the private sector, and that was very big difference coming from the private sector to the public sector. And being able to just make decisions like that, and it's quite the process. But anyhow, art has been wonderful to help me work through some of that craziness. It like allows you to kind of just check out, you know, and just enjoy and relax. And I typed up a little bit about clouds and painting clouds for you guys, because I know sometimes learning visually is one way, but everyone kind of learns at a different way. So sometimes reading information helps too. And I want to send it through the WhatsApp, but I'm going to try. If it doesn't come across, for whatever reason, it keeps saying something went wrong, try again. So I'm going to try it. Okay. And let me know if you can open it. And then I'm gonna send it right now.
That looks like a hard photo, though. The one you sent.
Oh, the one I picked, yes. And so I'm going, and it's actually looks hard, but it's not. And I'll work. We're gonna go slow. It's just the two of you guys today, so you kind of have a little private lesson, and we're just gonna go at your pace. This is something that I kind of wanted to teach you guys about, how to create rays. I liked this glow in the picture of the sun shining down onto the water. And then I know that I typically say start with our darks, right? And then work to our lights. But in this case, it's kind of like when you have that glow behind the trees, and you have that sun coming down, and it's a reverse almost, where instead of the glow is on the front part of those trees, you have the glow behind the trees. So what I'm talking about with clouds is we're gonna actually paint that pretty yellow and light color first, just a little bit on the edges, not in the meat of the cloud, just a little bit on the edges.
Okay.
Because if we were to come over this area, I don't think it would look right. We want to take this darker and kind of just lightly take it over that light area. And so this picture took me a while to think about how to approach this. And you are right, Christina. It is a little difficult, but I kind of want you to break it down into simplicity. And the way you can do that, again, is I've got the tracing paper. Were you guys ever able to find tracing paper? I've got even in your, even in your, like, if you got a pad of like sanded paper, they have the glassing between the sections of the sanded paper.
Yeah, I have that.
Yeah, that's what this is actually.
Oh.
And so sometimes when you diffuse it like this, what happens is you're just blocking out the detail. And so when you come up to a picture like this and you say, whoa, there is no way I can do this. This is way too busy, way too much. And I'm just trying to find my pencil here, but I might have ran off. Okay, doesn't matter. This is all you really need to think about, right? It's just this cloud shape itself. That's it. Cloud shape and then the landmass. And when you break it down like this, and then here's the darks, right? Here's the dark areas. This is actually almost the entire value. I mean, you're kind of almost in the same value here, not the details, but just looking at values. And then you've got the rays. So here's, and then you have the bottom, right? And we're not really going to worry much, but that's it. This is it in your picture. So
okay.
When you're thinking about coming over to your paper and you've got this drawing, and you can fold it up and just look at this as we lay out our lights, okay, right in these areas. And there's some lights here, but we're not going to worry about the rays. And this kind of helps. And then here's your sky. Kind of helps just break it down a little bit to where it's not so overwhelming. So if that helps you, do it.
I'd have to go and print out the picture though.
That's okay. Yeah, and if you have a printer, that's fine. And if not, it's just a tip to help you when you get overwhelmed with all of these different changes within the cloud itself. Clouds, again, are very atmospheric, right? And they're crystals in the air, and they're catching the light. And so we know, I mean, we've all seen something like this, most likely. And when you're standing there, I mean, it's massive. And the sun is right behind it, right? So the sun is behind that cloud, and it's just glowing. And so today, our goal is to create that glow without creating mud. And then I want to teach you how to create these rays with our pastel. And it's going to be a technique of holding. And if you have a square, you may not. If you have new pastel, that will work too. So I have, like, what I'm talking about is, see this larger square pastel, using that edge. So this is how we're gonna learn how to use that edge and create that ray. You can use an edge of your new pastel as well. So that's going to be a technique. And also, I want you to practice this after class if you can, and turn it to black and white and try it out with a different color. I'm going to use local color, what we see in this picture for the most part. But if you turn it to black and white, and I'll send it to you black and white here so you can have it, you can paint it in any color you want, as long as the values are correct.
I actually did that this week because I remember you saying that previously, and I did this, which is completely not the right colors, but the shades are right because
That's right. Good job.
I left it in black and white, and it looks perfect in black and white.
Yes. So even look at our picture in black and white and look at the values. It almost makes you feel like the sky is really, really dark, right? Almost the sky is this really dark blue, but it's not. It's not. On a value scale, we're looking at probably a 4 to a 5, maybe. So something to keep in mind about clouds and skies in general, when we're at the zenith, the top, it generally is cooler. So we're going to have a cooler blue violet is usually what we're going to choose. And even though, like, to this scene, it's going to be a little bit warmer, in a picture, it always makes it darker. So again, try to choose a blue that's maybe a shade lighter than what you see in the picture. Because in actuality, it's, I mean, when we turn it to a black and white, you can see it's not that intense blue. You can make it saturated. If you want that contrast, we can add that. But in general, when you're painting skies, the zenith is definitely, the top is definitely more cooler. And the idea is that as we move to the horizon, it gets warmer, right? We get a little bit more turquoise, we get a little bit more rosier, almost pinkish as we hit to the horizon. So apply that knowledge as we move through all different types of skies. And then let me know if that PDF came across okay. It might not have.
I don't think it did.
It didn't? Okay. So let me see. I have it, let me see if I can send it this way. Okay. I'm going to, I have it inside my email.
Yeah, because it looks like it's asking for a Google password to access it.
Oh, okay. Okay. So let's see. What I'll do is I'll turn it to a PDF at work tomorrow, and then I'll send it over in our WhatsApp thread. I'll just do it because I don't have a PDF form here on my computer. So today, what do you think we'll start with first? Do you have an idea?
Of the sort of yellow shade?
Mm-hmm. Good job. So do you think it's going to be warmer or cooler?
Black and white.
It's yellow, but it looks like a cool yellow, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good job. So you are correct. So I'm going to pull out a cool yellow. Good job, guys. I'll tell you, that was one thing I had a hard time figuring out, the cooler, the warmer, because I'd see one color and then it was like, wait a minute, this looks warm, and then I'd hold it to another color and then all of a sudden it turned cool. And you know what? That can happen. So it also will change the temperature based on what is next to it. So just be aware. All right, so I've got these two colors, and they're relatively the same, but just in case if you, one's a new pastel, one is a soft pastel. I'm gonna use my harder pastel, but either way, it's not wrong. And then let's change this back, revert. This is a very, a scene you would see in Oregon on the coast.
Cool.
We have quite the clouds. Okay, so we're gonna take this hard pastel, and I'm looking at my reference too, but it's almost the same color as my paper, and that's okay. And I'm just gonna use it very light. And I'm gonna come over here. I'm just moving along the tips, so having an idea of where those will land. And you can't see it right now, and that's okay. And I just went across the top at an angle. Okay. Now I'm going to pull out some blues. See what I can find here. I don't want to get too dark. It's always a balancing act. Okay, I think I'm gonna use this blue.
You know, I was going to try and kind of locate where the land is and the clouds are. Are you already painting?
Yeah, can you see the yellow?
I can.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. I actually did. You're right, Christina. I did put in the horizon line, and so go ahead and do that real quick. That way, that will give you a better sense of space. So Sorry. Yes, I
No,
missed.
no. Apology needed.
Yes, definitely set in the horizon line. It's funny what you what you do automatic and you don't think about it.
Oh, I don't know where the mountains are.
I know, right? You're like, how is this going to look?
Oh, they are all the way across, huh?
They are, and so I think what we're going to do for interest is we're going to take some purple, maybe a dark purple. If you have dark blue, that's fine. But I think we're going to put dark purple first. And I'm going to say it's very dark. It's almost like black. And I'll send you a picture. And then we'll take that, and if you have dark purple, that's great. If not, any dark purple, or you can do a dark blue. But I think for interest, it will be nice with the purple, and then we can lay a little bit of blue over the top, like a muted dark blue. And I'm just going to go on the using the edge of my pastel, and I'm just kind of coming along here. Trying to give it a little bit of an interest. Right now, this is not necessarily always the best, creating a whole line across your painting, but we're going to come over it with the rays, so it's not going to be like this long line across our painting. Usually, compositionally wise, we don't want that. And then I'm going to turn my pastel to the side, and I'm going to just go up and down like this, indicating some trees and just, and I'm very light. You can see through my pastel paper, and kind of out here, and then just looking at these shapes. No detail. We're not at the detail. Just putting it in. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you can use your finger, you can use a piece of foam or a t-shirt or something, and you can just rub it in. It's just like kind of like an underpainting. When I go up and down with the trees, this is just pipe insulation foam. And the idea is that we're pushing this pastel into the sanded paper, and we're toning the paper a little bit, and we're also making it not so bright and so intense. It's just kind of diffusing it, just like that. So I'm thinking about I need to kind of see around these lights. So I have a mid-value blue. And whenever you're not quite sure what color you want to start with, in terms of darkness to lightness, start with a medium. Pick out a color that you like, go with the medium. You can go darker, you can go lighter, but generally the medium is a good choice. And so this is a medium blue, and I'm just very lightly, just kind of drag this over around, kind of touching the tops of where my off-white yellow. And wonderful thing about clouds, you can make them look however you want. So don't get too hung up in the getting everything exact. We want the overall feeling of what this day was. I'm just going to press a little harder up here. The bounding box that I have that I draw is for a mat. So I'm kind of just trying to make sure for my own self that if I'm going to mat this and sell it later, that I'm staying within in an area that needs to be painted. So it also helps just to see the picture a little bit better when you have that box, in my opinion, but it's not, you don't have to, for those if you were wondering. I'm going to take my foam a little bit and just push that pastel into my paper a little bit. You can use your finger if you like. And it's okay to do this in the first go around, I say, the first layer. I try not to really push or blend with a blending tool as I get further along, because, you know, these pastels have those really pretty crystals in them. And it actually dulls and pushes that color and it's not as bright. So ideally, when we get into this blending, we're gonna really, and it's technique. You're learning how to take and apply pressure with your pastel, and then light, and then push more, and then light, to create this really pretty blending. So this picture is really good to practice with that light, and it's a back and forth. So for example, taking that color we started out with and then coming up into the sky, so you can just tap it, right? And then tap with your finger just lightly, and it gives this wispy look and these billowy clouds. Another thing too is why we don't bring the sky down into here, that blue color, because look, if you take your off-white color and you come up here and over that blue, you're going to see it's not as intense. It's not going to be, which is okay. It's just, that's why we want to preserve these areas with our lightest lights. I'm just barely light touch. Light touch. Okay. I'll send this over. These areas down in here where there's blue, you can see, those are what we call sky holes. We'll kind of add those in as we move through the painting, but right now we're just getting the structure. Okay. So in my printout, I kind of have a purplish tint, and I kind of like it. It kind of makes it a little bit more stormy looking. And in the original picture, maybe not so much. Those are the benefits of printing. Sometimes you get these effects that maybe you didn't see, or but I want to show you here. If I take a picture of this, you can see kind of that. See that purple? It kind of has a purpley haze. Does that show up on your end or no?
Yeah.
A little bit or no?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think I'm going to lean that way just a little bit, Because if you're looking at the original picture and then the one that I printed off the printer, I think I like that it made that a little bit more pinky rosy. I think it adds a little bit of an interest. So I'm going to actually add that into my painting. Okay, so now let's get in some darks. We're gonna start with a muted purpley blue. It's gonna be more on the warmer side. And let's see what this is. That's more cool. Okay, so show you. Be careful with your darks. This is a blue purple. It will just very light touch. And I'm just looking at these dark areas right in here. Squinting your eyes, squint your eyes. That's gonna push all of the detail. And all you're gonna see is the darkened areas. And I'm just kind of thinking about where is this going to lie? Where's this dark mask going to lie? The angle from where the rays. And kind of tapping with my darker pastel. And we've got this just coming up like an amazing cloud.
Hang on.
And I'm just tapping with my pastel, so not even pressing hard, just tapping. I'm gonna come down and I'm squinting. We've got these, they almost look like fingers. And coming right up here, even up into the corner. Right, and then kind of coming out like that. And so it kind of feels like, you know, it's pretty thick. And so, you know, you're thinking about, maybe this needs to come down a little bit because it's a pretty big center. I mean, that's a pretty big center. Okay.
Hey, Marie.
Yeah.
Just like a general rule, if I'm trying to blend, I have a darkish blue, medium blue, and a really pale blue. And together they make the color you have. But do I put the dark color down first and then the light one and then blend? Okay.
Yeah. I think that would be good. I would do the reverse on the edges here where it's a little bit lighter. So in this very dark area, you'll be okay. Just be careful not to get it just very light. Just try to do very light with both.
Okay.
You'll fill the tooth fairly fast. So yeah, you can tell I'm just kind of barely, yeah, good job. Good question. So I'm just tapping this in, blending just a little bit with my blending tool. That's why I said to have like a fixative, because sometimes clouds, you can get ahead of yourself and start layering, and fixative will allow you to kind of make your paper go a little farther. And so I'm a fan of it. Some artists don't use it much, and that's okay. I like the texture it creates sometimes, because once you put that fixative on, then you're not blending your colors. Your colors underneath aren't going to blend with the colors on top. So, and this pipe foam saves your fingers. And I just get it at the hardware store. But you can even use packing peanuts. I know people have used packing peanuts. So I'm just, yeah, tapping, pulling down, going in the direction of the cloud. Kind of just squinting, looking to see, getting the idea, the gesture of the cloud. And now we're going to come down. Once you're done, actually send me where you're at. I'll send you a picture as well. Let me see if I can help. Oops. And this is the, it comes in like a roll, and I cut it into pieces. And it's like, it goes right over your pipes for the winter time. And this is what I use for, and I'll take a picture. I just cut it into little pieces and it works perfect. And it's very cheap. Okay. I see a picture coming. Yeah, good. Very good. So you can even add a little bit more, Christina, to bring your purple down. So we're going to think about negative space right now. So see how close you are to how close it is to the hillside. So think about where the bottom of your cloud is. So you can even come down farther. Oh, that's Jackie. Sorry, I thought that was Christina.
And my WhatsApp has actually just frozen.
I know, mine is too. It's being weird.
Okay, so I'm bringing the purple down further to the...
Yes, bring it down. So see this negative shape. Negative shape is the space that is around the object you're painting. So it's always good to get your sizing. And this is, again, look, it's like this long slice of a pie.
Yeah.
And so you're thinking long slice of a pie, right? So yeah, bring that down. I know. And then I opened it and now it's just sitting, it says opened, but it's not showing up.
No, mine's not doing anything now. Ugh.
I don't know. It's really bizarre. We were having issues with the internet earlier when I was talking to Leah, so might be something like that. I don't know. So now let's maybe add some color down here into the foreground, just a little bit. I'm going to use a dark blue, get muted. I think this is too green. Yeah, too green. Let's see what I got. Nice thing about clouds is we can just hold on to the same colors that we've been using. Just add a few or take out a few. This might work. Let's see how it looks on that purple. Okay. So let me take a picture for you. So it's duller, right? It's a duller blue. We don't want a light blue down here because we know it's in shadow and it's cooler because it's down below here. The sun isn't shining, it's in the back. So, and I'm just gonna tap this blue over it, letting some of that purple show through. Might add a little bit here in the foreground. Just a little. And need something down in that water area. At least I do. So this is a very dull blue, a shade lighter than that blue that I just put. And I'm going to just indicate some areas where this water is coming in between these just going along the edge here. Pretty light. We'll add some more to it. At least I can know that this is water and going in a horizontal direction. And I'll just kind of tap it right there. Okay, this line here where the rays are coming, we'll put that in here shortly, but right now I'm not going to worry about that. Matter of fact, you can take some of that blue and just come over a little bit of that hillside. Not too much, but just a little bit to soften it.
Are they the same color? Sorry, the very first color you put on the land masses, are they both like a dark purple? Or is one a darker purple?
They're actually a muted blue, and
Oh.
I'm going to take a picture and send it to you. So they are, and then I'll show you compared to the sky. So you're going to be able to see, sort of, I guess that's not very, almost look the same, but they're a shade darker.
Yeah. It's looking purple for me, so I'm going to have to switch.
That's okay. That's why it's nice to send these pictures over so you can see.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like with anything, you're back and forth. We don't want too much detail in the front anyways. And so purple is a nice bridging color when we're trying to do landscapes. And I'm just coming back in with a little bit of that purple and, you know, just hitting the tops of these little trees. And it's, you know, a little bit of that blue and purple and breaking up that. I don't really want that solid line there. So I also don't want it the same height either. It's a tricky thing, but okay. I'm gonna have to come back and blend this top out because it's almost even lighter. It's almost like that water. So I'm just, that's too light. So let's go back to, where do we put it? That watercolor down here. Let's see if that works. think that works okay. And it almost goes out into this dusty purple.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of moves out into this. So one thing that your first layer can be very saturated and bright, and then you can come back over with the colors and tone it down. So this is kind of like this bright pinky rosy color, and then we'll come back with that blue and come over it. And what happens is that when it blends, then it's letting some of that peek through, but it's not so intense. It gives that really nice color, and I'll take a picture of that. I think this needs to be a little bit duller. Too bright. And we know that this is going to be warmer on this side because the sun is shining out this way. So when we're looking at our values, we're going to go to the warmer side a little bit. So this is a warmer reddish violet and a pinky violet. And I'll take a picture of those colors for you. So you can see. And then so see how you can layer those, and then just by tapping lightly, because we're still on our first layer, you can just lightly blend those. Just like that. I know we're kind of in this awkward stage right now. It doesn't seem like things are making sense, but it will. We're constructing. It takes time. Some painters like to use what's called broken color, and broken color is another way you could do this. And essentially what you're doing with your pastel is you're just laying colors next to each other and kind of overlapping, and then it's almost like what Monet did in some of his paintings. And then as you stand back, it all melts as one, but up close it just looks like hash marks of color. That's just another style that people like to do, and it looks cool. It's not necessarily my style, but it's good to try out different ways. Okay, let's get some darker color into that. Cloud here. Don't want that. This might work. This is a dusty. See if I can get it cleaned. A dusty blue, I would call it. If you do not have this color, that's okay. What you can do to create this grayish blue is to take some purple that you've laid down and then take the same value of yellow and come back over with its complementary color. That will turn it gray. It will create gray. And I'm just squinting my eyes again to look at the darkest darks. Very light. Come right up in here. Let it drift over a little bit into your sky. I'm going to add a little bit right in here. I'm squinting my eyes quite a bit. And while I have this stick in my hand, I'm just looking to see if there's any places that I can put this down. See how it looks down here. It's kind of a darker gray. Probably not. Might add a little bit down in here. I'm using 400 grit today for the sanded paper, and it allows me to kind of layer a little bit more into this sanded paper. So, okay, I'm gonna look for another blue. I'm gonna go in the same value, but I'm gonna go a little bit more blue, not as gray. And I'm gonna put this into the dark area. What we're trying to do is layer a little bit of interest into this dark part of the cloud without it being just black, like a boring black piece. We want color. And so I'm adding this blue, this dusty blue, but it's more saturated on the blue end. I'm just putting it over the top, just a little bit. Very lightly. And I'm just gonna take some over here. And like that. That's gonna be more of a saturated, okay? And I'm gonna come with, see if I've got a little bit warmer of a yellow. Might be too bright. We kind of need just a little bit down in here. I think that's gonna be too bright. I'm gonna go back with that. Oops. I'm gonna bring some of that, just tapping a little bit in here, that yellowish color that we were using earlier. And I'm gonna just looking at where else I see that and just lightly dragging it. And so I don't necessarily want a straight line, so I'm going to take that out right there. Okay. I think what we need is some brighter blue down here, right where those rays hit.
Mhm.
It's almost like it glows because it's warmer and it's bright. It's reflecting that sun, and it's a really pretty contrast. So I'm looking right in here. And I'm going to take a little bit of that bright blue and pop it right in there. You see a little bit right in here. This is pretty soft, so I'm just going to use a little bit. And I see some right underneath this dark cloud. Maybe a little bit up into here. Maybe even just a little bit on these edges. Just tapping with my finger. Looking to see where this blue is scattered out through the cloud. And kind of comes up here. Let's see. Got some buildings down in here. We might just tap. It gets showing up. Okay. And now we need a dusty, I'm going to say like a mid-value dusty purple. And that's what we're going to use as our blending. And I said I was going to add some purple into my painting. So we're going to try this one, and I might have another one. So we'll see how that works. Which is just a little bit lighter. I'll take a picture of this. Wait, it's hard to get the color right. Hold on. The idea is that we're blending over those darks, and then we're going to get that effect, that hazy effect, where all of the edges become very soft, right? So right now it looks fairly hard and not soft and blended. And we're going to use our pastel to blend rather than take our blending tool, because now we've pretty much got everything on our painting. So I'm going to take this purple and see how it works. And I'm just going to come right over this.
Are you using the edge?
What was that?
Are you using the edge of the pastel?
I'm just using the edge, yep.
Uh-huh.
And just kind of lightly. And it's a little dark, so I've got that lighter purple, and I'm gonna use that to blend over it. And soften those edges with that pastel. very lightly. I want to preserve some of those dark areas. I don't want to cover them up. But I'm just looking, if I squint, I see this very light band, and I'm coming right over that and over into this area. And it's allowing me to blend these dark layers that I put without having to use my finger. See? Just very soft. And it even creates that gray over the yellow because it's complementary color and it's also the same value. So as I come over that yellow with the purple, it's creating that gray, which is much more visible, I guess more interesting, I should say, than plain gray. I'm gonna come back with that. I lost my edge of my cloud here at the bottom. Kind of lost some of these. Soft edges. I'll come back with that. Hard pastel. Hard pastels, these new pastels are so nice when you're doing clouds because they're smaller and you can get into those areas a little better. Just much easier to use than the bigger ones sometimes. Like that's too blue. So it's just back and forth, back and forth. I'm looking for like a cooler purple just to come over here a little lighter to blend these areas. No, just in here on the edges. It has this intensity, if you can see right here where that brightness of that sun is peeking out. We're not quite ready to put it in yet. But we're almost there. Almost there. Now you can use your fixative if you want. If that's something you want to try out, you can use it right now. This would be a good time just because you've got quite a bit of layers now.
Mm-hmm.
And see what that does. I'm just darkening a little bit. This is just a little bit more purple. And then coming back in with that sky color to break up some of these clouds, these wispy ones we call sky holes. And I'm just kind of tapping the paper and then tap with my finger to soften. Break up the edge here a little bit. And you can be sporadic, you know, it doesn't have to be exactly what you see. You can just put them wherever, these little sky holes. Put a little bit down in here, just a little bit, maybe even a little bit. Coming off the edge, you can see that blue. Reflecting. Maybe a little bit more out here even, where it gets a little bit lighter. What about using this blue down here in the water along these edges? Not too much. Okay. I kind of lost the darkness of that cloud over here. Don't forget to clean your pastels. That's the other thing.
Yeah,
They
I've
get-
already.
They get so dirty so fast. So I'm going to take this hard pastel and just come right underneath this cloud area and just kind of placing where I'm going to put my rays of light. And it kind of feels like I'm going, measuring, you know, we're at this angle. Yeah, it feels like it was kind of going a little too high. So I can bring that edge down a little bit. Whoops. And just like that. And then this is also a good measuring way to hold your, you can use a paintbrush, a pencil, kind of get your angle of where your light's going to shine. So we're going to take a yellow. If you have a square, pastel works the best. And I like to use the edge, and I put it right kind of like this. And the square ones are nice. This is a Terry Ludwig, but it's about this size, and you press, and then you're going to drag it down lightly. It's not going to be a solid drag where you're like this. It's going to be pressed down and then lightly drag across. So you're going to press down and then lightly drag across to about here. And same thing, drag. And then we've got an angle here. So now I'm using the flat surface, not the angle. I'm using the flat part of my pastel. And I'm just dragging it lightly out, just like this. And then down, light, light, light touch. I'm gonna set that down, and then I'm gonna take a, I'm gonna say like a muted lavender, and we're gonna come right along this edge. We're gonna put in our light that's glowing right along that edge. Lavender, because we're gonna make it more intense as we move across. So just add a little bit, just little bits. Just like that. And then we're gonna take that yellow and we're gonna press right down in here where it's hitting. And then where else is it hitting? Well, we're gonna take that muted yellow, not the bright yellow, because it's diffused and it's hitting right here. And so we're just gonna take that and lightly hit that water. And tap. And tap. Just a little bit. And then it just gradually comes out. And then we're going to take that blue that we used, that pretty blue, and we're going to come right along that edge here because it's kind of highlighted. Right? Just lightly, just lightly. So it's giving that nice glow. Okay, now we've got a really bright piece right here. And so I've got almost a white, I would call it a lemon yellow. We don't generally use white of whites for our clouds, just unless it's like right in front of you. That's when it's really white. But this is a bright lemon yellow, and I'm gonna hit it right where that brightest bright, almost white light. I'm just tapping right there. Very light. And then we kind of need to come back with those mountain sides. That's not dark enough. Let's see what I can find. If we want to put that landmass in there, it's actually reinforcing. Come right up into here, right? And up. This is like a blue turquoise almost. It's a really dark, dark blue. Like a midnight blue. But we don't want to add it too much to the back there because it's not going to push those, that hillside in the distance. So we still want those to recede. That's the thing about these pictures. What happens is it can get confusing in the picture. It looks the same darkness, right? And really it's not. And so we just have to be careful. And now after messing with that hillside, it's almost the same value. And I need to, that's too light. I need to lighten it up a little bit, but keep it blue, more blue. So now the trick comes to finding that that's too bright. And this is where you can mix colors if you need to, but I just need it a little bit different right in here. It was competing with that. Just like that. Lighten it up.
I'll let this side catch in.
Okay.
Go on, side, Kitty.
Okay.
Oh, because you turned it off.
We have a, I'm gonna add a little bit more highlight on the water here. Then this area right in here, just lightly blend it. Kind of needed to, I lost my edge here. I feel like I need a little bit more dark in here. So I'm just coming back with that dark dusty blue that I had earlier, coming over and pressing a little harder. And that might not be the right one here. you can tell, there's it's a lot of back and forth, back and forth. I like the blue tint to this, so I'm gonna add it over it. The other one almost had too much of just a gray tone, and I like this. Moody blue. Okay. Kind of a I have another, just a different shade of yellow, and for the kind of brighter areas, and I'm just kind of coming over the edges of those clouds. And my hands are dirty. This is just where it's a little bit brighter. So if you squint your eyes, you can kind of see where those brights, the contrast. But it's not white. Not white at all. Right along the edge here. Maybe some right down in here. And instead of, if you need a lighter color to show up in your darks, use a very muted lighter color in that color family. So I'm using a little bit of purples, and I'm going to use this muted purple to create those lighter areas instead of doing what it feels like you want to do, a white or a cream, but it's not going to look right. It's going to stand out and not look natural. So that's what I'm using. You know, Jackie, when you were talking about last class, you know, blending and figuring out how to get to a certain color, I actually had a picture I was going to paint, and I was really struggling on how was I going to start this. And it was in pastel, and I was stumped. And I thought, well, how would I do this in oil? How would I mix the paint and get to where I need to go? And I think it's so great that you guys are taking other classes and learning different mediums, because that was like, duh, that's what I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it teaches you another way to approach things. And so pastels, you get stumped. You think, ugh, this is overwhelming. I don't know how I'm going to start this. And then think about your watercolor or whatever classes you're taking right now. How would you do it in that medium? And sometimes that will really help. Even in your charcoal, what needs to be light, what needs to be dark. So yeah, it helped me figure that out, because man, I don't get stumped very often, but geez, I don't know what it was.
Well, color is definitely my downfall.
Yeah, trying to figure out how to mix.
Just everything to do with color.
Yeah. Do you have a book about color? I have one that I bought that I sometimes still refer to. And let me grab it here. It kind of talks, because color is important, right?
Oh yeah.
Let's see, where did I put it? I had it hanging out over here. Oh, it's called Confident Color.
I'll write that down. Confident color.
It's an artist's guide to harmony, contrast, and unity. And it goes through, let's see. It talks about the rules of the color game, how color works, color and design, color choices. But it's great. And I think, I probably should go back through it too.
I'll get a copy.
I really like it. It talks about the tertiary triad, the primary, secondary. I think it would help, like, if you can go in, because sometimes it's hard to think about where do I start? How do I get that color? How do I make what I want?
Yeah.
And I suggest you going in and get this book, and then it talks about high key, low key, what that means. There's an artist that, well, in here it talks about modern, and it's like risky but hardly random, and it's true. And it's using these really bright colors, if you can see, right? So taking an actual landscape picture and then taking these really crazy bright colors and applying them, but it works the values. It means the lights and the darks and everything. The purples are the shadows, and the sunny part is the golden browns, and it works. In life, it's not going to look exactly like this.
No.
But, and I'll take a picture so you can look at it. It's so cool. I absolutely love being able to do that. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
So taking, like, this picture that we're working on, this cloud, and taking it to black and white, like I showed you, and then just start picking out in values, colors. And say you wanted to do just complementary colors. You can do purples and yellows, and just do the whole painting in a range of purples and yellows. And then you'll start mixing colors and seeing what works and what doesn't work. And I love it. I think it's really helped me. I highly suggest getting that book.
That would be a good Thanksgiving thing to do.
I think so. I should visit it again. Because it definitely helps put things in perspective, and why should I choose this, and why should I do this, and now it's more instinctively that I know where to go, what I need. But it wasn't like that when I first started. I could see the light the lightness, but it was like, how do I make color to look like that? You know, how do I get to where I want to be? So practice, a lot of practice. And
that requires time.
Yeah.
doesn't it? I know.
Okay.
I hear you. I hear you. I was telling Leah that I have quite a bit of commission paintings that I got to be working on. And then, you know, how
that's
you
great.
get sick and then you're like, I don't have time to be sick. But yeah, it's important. Practice with your color, and you're going to start as you practice and learn. I can tell you, you will start saying, okay, this needs something here. What is it? And you're going to start realizing, okay, that's what I need. That's going to work. Like right here, I'm seeing it's kind of dull and boring and it needs a little bit more color into it. And so I'm taking that bright blue and just adding a little bit into here, not a whole lot. I'll come back over with that muted blue, but it takes this down here and this color here and this, you see what I mean? It's getting added all the way through the painting. So everything is harmonizing.
For you, maybe.
I know. I know.
I'm struggling with the harmonizing. I'll show you in a minute.
Okay. I know.
I am now, I unpinned. Oh, there we go. No, yeah. Okay, I'm good.
Did it work?
Yeah, sorry, I messed things around, but I'm back.
Okay, good. Isn't that strange why it did that? I have no idea. Yeah. It's funny how my dog knows that we're almost to the end of class. Isn't that funny?
It is.
And you hear her, she's like,
Is it time to
Mom.
eat? Is that it?
No, she ate it already. She's just a puppy. Are you just a puppy? I know, you're a good girl. She's a lab.
Oh,
She's about 1.5 years, and she likes to be right next to Mom.
of course she does.
I know. I really did get lucky with a good dog.
I like the breed name of my dogs. They're mixes.
What is it?
So one is called a cockapoo, which is a fun little name, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
A Cocker Spaniel Poodle,
Yeah.
which I got from at the LA County Board of Supervisors. They give a dog up for adoption, offer a dog up for adoption every week. So I got him that way.
Aww.
And the other one is a Dorky, a Dachshund Yorkie. So the name alone is fun. And then they have human names. Yeah,
Aww.
they're very cute. They're the perfect little ones.
Yes, I bet they're perfect for. I know Molly. She's a fairly good sized lab. So I think she's like 76 pounds now.
Oh, and she's still a puppy?
Yeah, she's like
wow.
1 year. I know. Come here. Well, come here. You gonna come say hi? Come here, boo boo. Well, come here. Come here. You want to say hi?
What color puppy? What color lab?
She's black. Molly, I'll take a picture of her. Molly, come here. Sit. Come here, Tinker. She's running off. She's like, what's on your head? She's like, nope.
Too shy for a photo, but I will happily harass you, Mom.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're just a stinker. I know. I know. Yeah, she's a good girl. But oh, yeah. He's quite the little talker. We had super dense fog this morning, and it's like 34 degrees. Oh, it's cold.
Yeah, it was cold in LA too.
Is it?
Hmm. But
Is
you
it
know, it's warmed up. It's really windy.
okay? Yeah, boy.
So that's why we have such fire danger because of the really
Oh
fierce
my
winds.
gosh. Oh
You
my
too.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a really bad fire season too. Yeah, it was awful. I'm going
Australia
to.
too, right?
I
Yeah,
think so, usually, yeah.
yeah. You
Global
guys
warming.
had quite the. Because right now it's summertime for you, Jackie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I live in Ohio, but yes, my
Oh,
family.
Oh, you're not in Australia, or you are?
No, I'm in Cleveland.
Oh, okay. Where in Australia are you?
My sister is in Victoria and my dad is in Perth in Western Australia.
Okay. And where are you at?
I'm in Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, you're in Ohio. Okay.
Yeah.
So you get the cold.
Yeah. Yeah, we get the lake effect snow and all that good stuff.
I don't think I've ever been to Ohio before.
I
me
like it.
neither.
I've been very happy here. We've been here a long time.
Have you?
Yeah.
Do you want to go back to Australia?
No, we've been here. Like we moved here 20 years ago and had our kids
wow.
here, and we're pretty much set.
Did
Yeah.
you get? I did get citizenship 5 years into my move to LA.
Mm-hmm.
Did you decide to do that?
Oh, I was a citizen. I'm a birthright citizen.
Oh.
So I was born here when my parents studied here in the 60s.
Cool.
Wow. That is cool. See? It's amazing.
It's kind of random, but it just
So,
worked out that way.
Do you visit Australia very often then?
Well, we haven't been able to with all the restrictions
Right.
and everything. It's harder with the kids. I used to,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's much harder.
How old are they?
I mean, the little one is 10 now. So like pre-pandemic, she was a bit young and the other two are, but now I think it would be okay once they lift the restrictions.
Yep.
I was just saying today, I haven't done very much traveling except to go to Lake Tahoe in March.
Ooh.
Which was beautiful. Oh, that would be a nice a nice pastel painting. I took a picture from the ski lift with a beautiful view of the lake. You could see the lake, the entire lake from where I was. So maybe
yeah, we should paint that. We can paint that whenever. That would be fun.
Okay.
Because you love taking pictures,
Gorgeous.
right? Yeah.
I do. That's the thing. I still love taking pictures, but now I've taken so many, and I'm really disorganized in terms of. I used to be super organized, but I've taken so many pictures now. I'm a touch overwhelmed. When it was 700 pictures, you could sort them. But now that it's like a couple 10,000s,
I was good. I laugh because my boys tease me all the time. They think that I'm ridiculous. I have like 10,000 pictures on my phone.
So I have many more than that.
I bet. Well, and I love taking pictures. I think that it'd be fun to take a class that, someone could teach you how to photograph. I don't know
I can
enough.
show you a little bit if you like.
That would be really cool because I'd love to get something that would take. There's this painter, Mike Svob, SVOB, and he has this. He does these workshops, and he kind of like what I just showed you, that picture I took of. He takes ordinary landscapes, but then he throws in this different flavor of painting, I guess you'd call it. And
Cool.
he does this workshop in Canada in the Bugaboos.
Okay.
And it's, I guess it's like this remote lodge that you fly into, and then you helicopter to these different places to plein air paint. And he teaches
Oh,
these
wow.
classes. Well, one of the classes right before his is photography. And it's
Aw.
like this woman who takes you and teaches you how to photograph landscapes. And I was like, gosh, I would love to do both. How do I do both?
Mm.
How can I do this?
But do you have with the sophistication of cell phone cameras now, you almost don't need a DSLR.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. But I think it's like trying to get.
Still better.
I know.
The quality is still better.
Yep, exactly. So I guess that's what I do a lot of, like when I'm out at my mom's in Alaska, I take so many pictures, and I wish I could sometimes get better pictures.
It's not that hard, honestly.
Yeah.
I bet you would take to it pretty easily.
Yeah, I love it, but I'm on the same boat with you. I just love pictures.
So because of the picture taking, I feel like I'm decent in terms of, what do you say? How do you say the
The skill?
assembling your photo, the composition, I guess. But
Okay.
one of my downfalls, as I'll borrow Jacqueline's phrase, is values. They kind of all look mid-tones to me.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know you could simply just like turn it into black and white, but then when I'm looking at my colors right now, like I was painting these clouds that we're working on with kind of a gray.
Yeah.
And then I guess I realized a little late that my grays are not as dark as they ought to be.
Okay.
And so I just like darkened them with some black right now. But I mean, I was having that problem in oil class with I'm blanking on her name now. In oil painting class.
Yeah, in Leah's class.
In Leah's oil painting class, where I was
Okay.
thinking this is the right color, but then really it isn't. I had to make a couple of attempts to get the coloring right.
So you're seeing that in what I'm hearing from you is that it's not necessarily looking.
The values are not right.
Yeah. Okay. So if you take your camera or your phone right now and just take a picture of your painting and turn it to black and white, see what that looks like.
Yeah, I know you taught us that great trip. I should try that.
Because sometimes you're not completely off. I mean, for class purposes, we are using this picture, and for the most part, we're trying to paint fairly close to what it is. But as you progress as a painter, you're going to be able to kind of step away from that a little bit, meaning you're going to use that as more of a guide and not exact. And so we're also learning that what we see in the picture isn't necessarily totally what was going on. I mean, yes, it is, but your camera, as you know, as a photographer, it saturates it, right? It doesn't, it's not portraying really. So there's a little bit of that piece of knowing the actual subject we're painting, clouds, which is why I'm saying go out and look at those skies. You're going to have a better idea when you're trying to choose to paint them really what's going on. So how did it go? Did you take it in black and white and see?
Hang on. Well, I think I'm just gonna I'm kind of committed to the colors I've been using, I think.
Yep. No, that's
'Cause
okay.
yeah, but I'm gonna do it the next time because my teeth are filled pretty much. How do you say?
Your tooth, yeah.
My tooth, yeah. Do you never say teeth?
Your teeth, yeah. Your teeth are full. No, no. Your tooth is. Yep. I had to spray mine. Because I could tell that, yeah, I was getting quite full as well. So, but this is all about those soft edges and blending and layering, and it's a lot, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah, it's not quite looking like it ought to look, but it's been fun making it.
that's the most important, and kind of just that's what I've been going back and forth on mine, and kind of like, I don't want it just a solid area or a straight line, or coming in with those contrasting colors of, like, in here where it's maybe it needs to be a darker blue. I don't want to do too dark because then it's not going to look right. So almost ends up being a twilight. That's what happens if you use too dark of a blue in your sky. It ends up looking like nighttime or twilight, and you don't want that. But there was one picture I thought about doing, and then I decided nope. Clouds, there's a lot to them. So
Wow. They're harder than I thought they would be.
I know, because you have so many edges and colors, and it's all just, where do I put the light? How do I make it not look like a blob?
Well, I was also thinking, since they're so, you don't have to be prescriptive about the shape. It should be just about like putting some color on and a little bit above that. But it's a lot more involved than this, obviously.
I know. I find skies I'm much better with skies in my oil painting than I am with pastels. It's kind of funny. Where I can whip out something pretty fast in pastel, and then in oil I'll sit there and think, how am I going to do this? So it's funny. But I agree.
I haven't touched oils in a while.
Yeah. I love it.
That's your medium.
I actually love pastel. I don't know. I love pastel. It's something about it.
Yeah, it's easier.
Yeah, I'm enjoying creating. I feel like I like the palette knife when I do my oil, and so I feel that I can get a lot of textural, similar to what it's like with my palette knife. So I like that. I like being able to do that with with the pastel.
Oh, darn it. I forgot I had, so I keep doing that where I forget. I can't just,
You what?
how do I say? I was doing the thing where you pull a lighter color over a darker color. And I didn't clean it first.
Oh, I know.
It's okay. I have one of these brushes that helps me erase things.
There you go. Good job. Yes. I had that.
Again.
Oh yes. All right. Well, we're just
Let me see.
coming down to the end here. Why don't you guys send me over what you have?
Okay.
Do you really have to see? I'm kidding.
Oh,
That's
well.
okay. Let's see.
Mine,
It's-
gosh, I can, like I said, I can just keep going for days.
Hang on. Just a few more touches here.
Oh, hang on. I think I did that wrong.
It's funny. We're like, wait, hold on. Not yet. Not
Yeah.
yet. I can't show you quite yet.
Maybe never.
Yeah, I know. You don't really want to see this. Oh, yeah. Even I get that too.
It's like me with a story. Don't look at the draft. Wait till I'm done.
Yes,
Yeah.
trust me, it will turn out.
Yeah.
Yep, that's.
I haven't
Hey.
written a news report in a while, but I remember.
Yeah.
I switched. I crossed over to the dark side 7 years ago.
I get teased that I crossed over to the dark side too.
The thing is, it's not so dark if it's like the homeless initiative. They can't.
No.
Although I was a flack for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I always
Gotta
say
make a living.
That's right. Don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Hang on. Yeah, I worked for a local paper, and they, was not exactly enough.
No. Nope. That's, I mean,
Not like Reuters.
well, and like Leah really, was stressing, try to do art full time, but I have my boys and trying to live on
Yeah.
that unknown, that would be too hard. So
Yeah, could not do it.
no, maybe when they're out of the house, but
Yeah, I tell myself, at least I didn't seek it out. They came to me.
that's right. That's how old are your kids?
Oh, they're older now. They're
Yeah.
16 and 14.
Okay, that's mine, 16 and 19.
Oh gosh.
Yep.
You
So
look like, you look like you were in your early 20s.
oh, you're so sweet. Thank you.
You kind of do.
Oh, thank you. No, I wish I was. My body definitely is not. It lets me know that some mornings.
Yeah. Yes, I'm creaky now.
Yes, getting
Okay,
older.
here. I'm going to show you. It's not awesome, but you'll see it.
I know. I picked some challenging ones, don't I? That's okay. The best thing is that we're working through them, and when you have things like that, you discover all sorts of new things.
See how solid that cloud looks. Oh, look, Jackie's is nice.
Oh, thank you. But yours is too.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have some definition in your cloud.
Very nice.
Oh, it looks like
You guys,
it looks
good
like
job.
a laser beam.
It does. It actually
It does a bit.
I love it.
It's blasting those the little island in the middle. You can't see it at all.
But Christina, you know what the thing is when you first start out painting, you get nervous putting darks down because you don't want to be too dark. And so when you talk about your values, now you can actually spray your sanded paper right now and then lay some darks.
Okay.
But you actually created a really nice gray. I mean, you did.
I do not know. I like your
Yeah.
I like the little like purplish violet things on top of Jackie's.
Oh, I
Those
know.
are cool.
It is. And good job, Jackie, with those soft edges.
Yeah.
I want more
Yeah.
purple pastels.
I know.
More what?
Purple
Purple.
pastels. I don't have enough purple.
I know, me neither.
I know.
I have 2 million browns
Mhm.
and a lot of blues.
Brown.
And for some reason, a lot of oranges. Oh, I see. I thought maybe for sunsets, but I'd never thought purple would be necessary.
Purple
Does-
is what I call a bridging color in landscape. So what that means is that it is a wonderful color to use to blend two different colors together. And whenever I'm in doubt of starting out with my darks and I'm like, gosh, I don't know what I want to use, you can probably see I tend to go to purple.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, because I was thinking, well, purple doesn't really occur naturally except in eggplant. I'm not gonna need it.
I know. And then you realize, oh, I kind
It's the
of do.
shadow color.
That's right.
It's the shadows, which is
that's right.
everywhere. I
That's
see.
right. So good job. Good job
Um,
for recognizing that you're exactly right. So definitely invest in some purples. You can do I think they're having a sale at Dakota Pastels right now. So
there's sales
Um,
everywhere.
yeah, with
Because of
holidays.
Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Yep. So let's see. Next Sunday, I think I'm gonna try to teach. It'll be Thanksgiving weekend, but I'll just kind of
right?
I think she's gonna want to do it in December.
Oh, that's correct. That's right.
Yeah, the holidays. So, but let me know if you guys aren't available, and then I can postpone till the following weekend.
Okay.
So
Whatever.
Yeah,
we'll,
I'm around, but whatever works for people.
Okay, sounds good. Good job, guys. You guys have a
Thank
great
you.
week.
You too.
All
Take
right, we'll
care.
talk
Bye.
soon. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.